Well. What do we have here? Limbus Company has just released the newest identities and ego, the LCD OSIR team Ishmael, the Shadow Vested Blade Sheer Singer Meursault, and obviously the Shunokun Honglu. But look at these new designs they have for the kit reveals. Are these going to be a new design? Looks like they have an overview page that actually shows passives and it shows skills. And it looks like all of the lists are kind of individually on their own, same with the passives and stuff. I mean, it looks really nice and clean. Although it's a bit hard to tell what is a page or not. Are these now 3 pages? Is this the first Ishmael 3-page identity because it has an overview? I don't know. Anyway, we're going to be talking about this in banner order. So Ishmael is the banner, Meursault is the banner, and then last will be Honglu, which will be the event, the free event. We're going to get right into this. We're not really going to look at the overview because there's nothing to gain. We can see that she has 3 base skills, 2 S2s, and then 2 defensives, and 3 passives. So let's go right into her kit and see what is up. She is a Poise Bleed identity with a skill 1 Wrath, the Rending Arts. We have on use at X Poise gain coin power. We have on use gain clash power for every bleed on the target. We have on use at X Haste. Bit strange. Gain clash power. On use gain poise count. And then we have attack end. If this unit has haste, you gain Mook Workshop Yi, Stance 2 Blade Draw, Thrust Force, Dokebi Fire. So that's obviously her gauntlet, I assume. That must be her gauntlet. We have the first coin gains Poise, the second is Poise, Bleed, and if you have Dokebi Arms, and at a certain amount of haste, you reuse. If she has haste conditionals, she's like South Sink Dawn? I think she was the last one to have some sort of haste conditional, so I'm a bit surprised about that. And also she has this Mook Workshop ability, which I'm sure we'll figure it out when that does, what that does. Skill 2 is Acupuncture, which is a 3-coin glue. We have on use. At X Poise, gain clash power, coin power. Gain clash power for every bleed on the target. At X Haste, gain clash power. Gain poise count. Attack end, gain the Mook Workshop Yi. For every haste on self. Wow, interesting. So you really want haste on yourself. The first coin on hit gains poise and inflicts bleed. The second gains poise and inflicts bleed. The third inflicts bleed count. And if this unit has the Dokebi Arms and at X haste, she reuses the coin. There's a lot of reuses. And then on crit, she actually gains haste next turn. So if you crit and then reuse on the coin, I guess you get more haste, which gives you more buffs. So interesting. We'll see how that works. Let's move on quickly to her Lucent Rippling Flame, which is the skill 3. We have deal more damage on critical hit for every X poise on self. On use, gain final power for every haste on self. Gain coin power for every poise on self and bleed on the target. We have at Mook Workshop Yi X, convert all coins to unbreakable. We have on use gain poise. We have on use gain haste next turn. At least this is next turn, not same turn. Then we have attack and gain more in Mook Workshop Yi for every X haste on self. The first coin gains poise count. On crit, it also gains more Mook Workshop buff. The second coin gains poise, and also on crit gains more Workshop buff. The third coin deals more damage on crit for every Mook Workshop buff. It also inflicts bleed / fragility, and on crit gains more Mook Workshop. What is this Mook Workshop buff? It's flooding the entire screen. I guess we'll figure that out, but for now it looks like she gets a lot of has a lot of this gaining buff, so this buff must be very important. She has 2 defensives, and the reason for that is because this is a assist defense. She has a Pride block, Flashable Guard. I'll light the path forward. Combat start gain assist defense. On use gain haste next turn. On use gain poise count. Clash when you gain poise. Skill end if this unit has haste, you also gain X Mook Workshop Yi. Unbreakable. And I guess we could just talk about the assist defense because it moves right onto that. We have Observing the Stones on the board. It is a Gloom. Flashable Guard. Assist defense exclusive. On use, heal SP on this target. The unit is guarding with assist defense. On use gain poise. She actually gives them SP. That's actually pretty interesting. That's pretty awesome, I won't lie. I mean, that sounds pretty great. Okay, let's see what these other 2 abilities are. Obviously, we won't know how they activate, because I don't see any activation conditionals here, like on the skill 3. First, we have to claim their bones. This is actually a skill 2/2. It is a 2-coin Pride slash. Unclashable. This skill does not trigger defensive skills. Deal more damage for every X missing HP on self. Deal more damage on crit for every haste on self. On use, deal more damage for every Mook Workshop Yi on self. On use, deal more damage on crit for every poise on self. The first coin gains poise and inflicts slash agility. The second inflicts bleed and inflicts paralyze next turn. So it's kind of exactly like how Bamboo Hatted Kim's work. It's also not a defensive skill like how Bamboo Hatted Kim is. Then we have Even the Balance. Lucent Rippling Flame is a 4-coin Wrath slash move. This must be her Ascended skill 3. We have this skill does not trigger defensives. Wow, really? Deal more damage on crit for every X poise on self. Deal more damage on crit for every X haste on self. On use, gain poise count. Attack and consume all Mook Shop Yi on self. So this must activate when she has a certain amount. The first coin gains poise and on crit gains the Mook Workshop buff. The second inflicts bleed and on crit gains the Mook Workshop buff. The third inflicts bleed again and gains the Mook Workshop buff. The fourth, at X Mook Workshop Yi, deal more damage on crit for every Y excess stacks, inflicts bleed, and on crit, if this unit has X haste, reuse the coin. This is a 5-coin, kind of like Kozan. Interesting. And I guess that's why it says excess stacks, because if you reuse it, you get this conditional multiple times. No idea how we activate this, though, but that seems to be the skills. First of all, what is going on in this? This is very interesting, I'll tell you that much. I got no clue as to what's going on here. But I guess that's the fun part. We'll have to figure it out with the next part being the passives. So she has 4 passives, as was shown before. She is a 2-pager, by the way, because this is 2 pages. I love the new design, by the way. The new design is incredibly gorgeous. Let's read the first passive, which is the Demon Fire Spine Cleaver. On the base attack skill end, if this unit has X Mook Workshop Yi, activate Even the Balance Lucent Rippling Flame. Okay, so it auto-activates. Yeah, it's exactly like a Kozan. On defensive skill Clash Lose, if this unit has X haste, this unit cannot be staggered from taking damage until the defensive skill ends and activate to claim their bones after being hit. Oh! So, on defensive lose, so pretty much when you assist guard someone, if you assist guard someone and then she loses, she just claims their bones. Wait, is that not awesome? Wait, that's so sick. Okay, so she's like kind of like a supportive damage unit. You know what I mean? Like, obviously you want to. I think you could lose your own clashable guard as well to activate it, but that pretty much gives you claim their bones on command. If it's just defensive skill, clash lose. That's pretty cool. We have the second passive, which is To Where I Must Return. Upon entering the encounter for the first time, this unit gains the bearing of a Solsu for every Blade Lineage identity on the field, excluding this unit. Interesting. Alright, what is the bearing of Solsu? If X Blade Lineage identities, excluding this unit, are defeated in this encounter before skill use, if this unit did not have Swordplay of the Homeland, gain Swordplay of the Homeland. That is from Bamboo Hatted Kim. When this unit gains points, potency, and poise count with its skills or coins, gain additional poise, potency, and count. If Y Blade Lineage entities are defeated, gain X more poise and potency count instead. Okay, so she does have a buff with the Blade Lineage, and she appears to have some sort of solo mechanic as well. I think Kim... I don't think Kim has a solo mechanic. I think he just has a conditional mechanic where the more identities that are on the field for him, the stronger he gets from just everyone. I believe like the max is 6 or something. Interesting. Alright, moving on to the third passive. Limbus Company Specialized Custom Prosthetic Prototype Mark V, the Dakobi Arms. Combat start, gain Dakobi Arms, and heal X SP4 allied Blade Lineage identities, excluding this unit. Combat start, if there is an allied identity at less than X% HP on the field, excluding this unit, gain assist defense. Oh my gosh, she's like a personal bodyguard. Wait, that's so cool. This kind of gives me like a mixture of this gives me a mixture of Zhong Office and Zwei Ishmael vibes. Skill end to gain Mook Workshop Yi for every poise potency on self. Okay, so this is exactly like how Moon Azure Blades. Actually, this is more like how Renclair works, with his excessive poise turning into the Azure Blade. Interesting. And then we have cut down what must be felled is a support passive. The ally with the fastest speed deals more damage with slash skills. If that ally has haste, deal additional damage. So it's exactly like, I think Bamboo had a Kim's passive, but has an extra haste conditional. So interesting, a haste identity. I was not expecting her to be a haste identity. She is bleed, because she is blade lineage, but I was not expecting that. Now we can see what the buffs are. So we have Dokebi Arms, take less damage. On skill use, gain haste next turn. Ah, that's how she gains haste. Combat end, this effect expires and gain poise count. Okay. Bearing of a Solsu, like, that's what this does. Oh, look at that, she's so angry. Gain offense level for every X stack. On attack hit with slash skills, gain poise. Lose a stack when a blade identity is defeated. Then we have the Mook Workshop Yi stance. Can gain up to X stacks per turn. Slash base attack skills deal more damage every stack. Defensive skills lose. Oh. Defensive skills will lose clash power for every stack. Turn end gain haste next turn for every X stack. Okay. The stronger you are with your Mook Blade, the easier it is to claim their bones. And also she gains haste. So she just naturally gains haste. But I assume if you're winning the situation, you gain more haste. This is very interesting, chat. What can I say? Give me your thoughts on this. This looks interesting. Remember, this is also you have to account the Bamboo-Hatted Kim buff, which is Swordplay of the Homeland. So she counts as a blade lineage identity, so this also works with him. So if you're looking at this thing like, oh, that's weird, maybe maybe the stats are lower than usual, maybe from like the poise situation, because I do see that she has a lot of on-use poise count, but I don't see a lot of on-hit poise count. I think this is like her only one, which is the S3 first hit, and I think, yeah, everything else seems to be on use. And, well, but she does get it from her passive, so like that's the thing, she does get it from her passive. Yeah, when this unit gains potency and skill, that's only if they're defeated. Okay. But she gets this big buff as well. And then she gets Swordplay of the Homeland. This will be very interesting. Combat and this, yeah, she also gains poise count literally from Dokebi Arms. Speaking of, how does she get more Dokebi Arms? Does she just get it it said it here. Combat start, she just gains Dokebi Arms. So it must be like, oh, is it not stackable? I don't think it's a stackable. I think it kind of activates like the Ujat Otis Vanguard Eye. Interesting. Okay. I'm interested to see how this works. And then I guess we can have a look at her overview here. So if you're interested to see what her overview looks like. Very pretty, I must say. And we can see her moves here, claim her bones. We can see the even the balance, loosen, rippling. If this charges up like equal to how Ryoshu and like I should say Labushu and Renclair charge up, this is going to be insane, by the way, because this is like Kozan levels of strong. It looks to be, and claim their bones is going to be a bazillion paralyze, especially because she gets this for free. She gets free assist defense at X HP. That's kind of goated. I guess she does have to make up for the fact that there is Blade Lineage Otis on the team, but what can I say? Speaking of Blade Lineage, we're actually going to move on to the Ego, because this is on the banner. So we're going to be looking at both the banners. Wow, this looks so pretty. We'll look at this and Ishmael on the banner. So let's have a look. Shadow Vested Bladesinger Meursault is a he. We have 2 pages. 2-page Ego confirmed? Sorry. Shadow Vested Bladesinger, 2 coin Pride Slash. When used for the first time in an encounter, consume less SP. If Blade Lineage Mental Meursault use this skill, also consume fewer Ego resources. Oh my goodness, welcome back on Brilliant Glory. Gain Clash Power and deal more damage for every X poise on self. If this unit gained Drink to Fallen during the encounter, deal more damage against the main target. If this unit is Blade Lineage Mental Meursault, deal even more damage against the main target. Okay, yeah, this is a Blade Lineage upscale. Like, bunch of IDs and Egos. Before attack, you gain highest res divided by X attack weight. Rounded down. Before attack, add X plus highest allies. Oh! At X highest res allies with the earliest deployment or to gain poise count. Oh my goodness, another poise count Ego. That's now Thorokagia, both Thorokagias, and this. This seems to be a bit easier, specifically with poise count. Oh. X other blade lineage identities that have the lowest SB heal SB. Okay, is this literally just a blade lineage? This ego is literally just a blade lineage upscale. Attack end, gain drink to the fallen next turn. Inflicts bleed on the first coin and bleed count. It is only a 2 coin. Okay. We'll have a look at the corrosion then and see what the corrosion has to say. We have Shadow Vested Bladesinger, 4 unbreakable coins. Indiscriminate targets randomly. Gain clash power and deal more damage for every poise on self. And if you have drink to the fallen during this encounter, if you gained it during this encounter, deal more damage against the main target. Meursault mental Meursault deals even more damage. Before attack, lose base power for every cracked coin. Before attack. What? All enemies and allies gain poise count, slash damage up, and slash fragility. All enemies and allies? Me when I buff my enemies for fun. Attack end X other blade lineage allies that have the lowest SP heal SP. Attack end gain drink to the fallen next turn. Unbreakable coin. On crit, final coin gains final power. Oh, what the hell? On hit, inflict bleed count. Second coin. On crit, final coin gains final power. On hit, inflict bleed count. On crit, final coin gains final power, inflict bleed. And then last one, inflict bleed count. So this is probably a negative. This is not negative, by the way. This is definitely positive. Some sort of, okay, final power. So this is a turns into a 4 coin unbreakable. And also nerfs the enemy, buffs and nerfs you and the enemy. That's very interesting. What's the passive like? Because this is the one that's how many, what in the status effects? Okay, wait, we're going to have to read this chat. Okay, let's have a look, shall we? Beads of Liquor at Blade Point. Always active, Blade Lineage Mentor Meursault effect. Okay, so these are always active. What? You're joking. Wait. On hit with a base skill, inflict bleed. This identity counts as an identity that applies bleed and poise? This identity's base skills count as skills that inflict bleed and poise. Oh my god, they just fixed him. They fixed him. They patched him in an ego! He got patched in an ego! If you don't know what this means, you might be like, what do you mean? Doesn't he inflict bleed with his Claim Your Bones? Here's the thing. Claim Your Bones is a defensive skill. It's not a base skill. He doesn't count as a blade unit, and he does not inflict bleed on any skill besides Claim Their Bones. So with this ego equipped, if you have it equipped, he just becomes a poise bleeder, and he inflicts bleed. That's crazy. That's okay. Some people might not like this. I really fuck with this. I actually really like that. That's so interesting that they can do that type of stuff. I didn't know they could. Anyway, let's move on. When used, so what does it actually do? When an ally is defeated, gain drink to the fallen next turn. If the defeated ally is a blade lineage, gain more drink to the fallen. Turn start, if this unit has drink to the fallen, enter the resentment state. Blade lineage mental Meursault gains resentful scabbard when the above effect activates. Turn start, if this unit does not have drink to the fallen, the following effects expire. Resentment, growing resentment, resentful scabbard. When this unit has drink to the fallen, when this unit takes damage that brings its HP down to 0, heal drink to the fallen multiplied by X HP as a percent, then drink to the fallen expires. This effect activates after identity passives with similar effects. What? Huh? What? When staggered, recover from stagger. Oh my god. Everyone's just getting unstaggered. Everyone's getting unstaggered. Okay, so he does. So you have 2 transformations. You have a non-blade lineage mentor Meursault transformation, which is the resentment, and then you have the resentful scabbard. We'll see what they do here. So first of all, what the hell is drink to the fallen? So drink to the fallen is turn start. You gain poise for every X stack. Mentor Meursault gains even more poise. Base skills deal poise on self, X% damage on crits. Base skills that gain poise or count gain clash power, turn and lose X stacks. We have resentment, which is the normal buff. Gain min and max speed. On hit, heal HP by X% of damage dealt using the skill. Oh my god, he's a blood fiend. They turned him into a blood fiend. They turned me into a blood fiend, Morty. They turned me into a blood fiend. Angdu, they turned me into a blood fiend. Now, this is the unique Kim effect. So these are all unique Kim effects. Literally. When an ally including this unit, Resentful Scabbard, when an ally including this unit takes HP damage, gain growing resentment equal to the damage taken. Oh my god, is this just the Kim thing? In memoriam passive now ignores conditionals and activates at max potential. I'm sorry. This one? Wait, in memoriam. Which one's in memoriam? Something down. Anyway, just keep going. Oh, is that Bamboo Hatted Kim's? I think that might be Bamboo Hatted Kim's passive. When activating a Pride Res, apply Sword of the Homeland True Essence on all allies other than this unit. On using You and My Flesh until skill end, this damage does not reduce his HPs below X. Lose poise. Oh my god, it makes him lose the clash more. Lose poise on self clash power rounded down, and on using Claim Their Bones gain poise. Okay. Growing Resentment. To claim their bones gains a stack of final power rounded down. Stack divided by X final power. But you lose the clash power. On hit, using the final coin of either Yield My Flesh or Claim Their Bones, you deal stack divided by X percentage damage. Then expire. Oh my god, they're turning him into a monster. They're turning him into a demon. And then here's the buff, the Sword of the Homeland True Essence. Base attack skills gain final power. Plus the number of blade lineage allies on the field divided by X rounded down. If this unit is a blade lineage Solsu, which is Ishmael and I think Faust, base skills gain final power and deal X divided by the number of coins percent damage. Turn and gain Hex next turn, and this effect expires. What in the fuck do I even say about this? Holy shit. What do I say about this, dude? Is this not just a season 9 updated Bamboo Hatted Kim? So how does he get Drink to the Fallen? He gets it next turn after an attack, or if people die. That's what I'm understanding here. Yeah, so people have to die, and he gains Drink to the Fallen. I wonder how much he gets, because it says stacks. And he also, yeah, people die. And then if you have Drink to the Fallen, you enter the Resentment state. So you only get it for maybe a turn or two, I assume? Maybe like it's like Ardor Blossom Embers or something? And depending on how many. And then while you have this Foreman, you are invulnerable. If you're a Meursault, you get Omega buff. You can also buff your allies. Wow. I like this. This is sick. This is also kind of sick. Is this not just freaking sick, by the way? Like, is this not all just awesome? Even if you're a non-Meursault identity, you still do get majorly buffed. So the only other poise unit would be Sync Soul, right? But it does give haste. Well, not really, because you have to give Sword to play Homeland. But it gives you poise, and it does give him max speed. You also heal. That's kind of insane. This is insane. This is insane. What's going on with? I love that they have to make the clash power, like make him lose clash power. This man never loses clashes, bro. Even at Mirror Dungeon, this man never loses his Yield My Flesh, bro. He can never lose Claim Their Bones. It's too OP. They have to nerf him in the ego. Well, nerf. It's buffing him, but yeah. He also gets the Growing Resentment, which just like normal Kim does percent damage. Okay. Okay, yeah, this guy's kind of goated with the source now. Okay. He doesn't have an overview like the other two, but we do have one more to go, and I guess we'll just quickly talk about that, because this seems to be the simplest one. We have Corp Shuriken Honglu, who has 3 coins, a defensive, and 2 passives. This is the free identity, so let's talk about him. He is Poise Bleed. Okay, fair enough. I think, I'm not saying I was coping about Burn Bleed. If you asked me, it wasn't, but, I'm just saying. Anyway, we have a 3-coin Gluttony. / On use, gain coin power for every poison, bleed, self and bleed on targets. If the target has Truced, Honglu, gain final power. Gain poise count. On first coin on hit, gain poise. On hit, inflict bleed count. Second is inflict bleed. Third is inflict bind next turn. And then on hit, if the target has Truced, increase the Truced stack on target. Okay. Constricting Aura Bonds. Don't know what that does, but we'll figure that out. We have Avolition / a 2-coin Lust. Did I talk about what Ishmael's were? I don't remember. I think I did. On use, gain coin power for every poise on self and bleed on the target. If the target has Truce Honglu, gain final power. Gain poise count. First is on hit, gain poise. On hit, inflict bleed. On hit, second coin. If the target has Truce Honglu, you'll consume it on target to reuse this coin. On crit, inflict evolution wound. Reuse on hit, gain haste next turn. Reuse on hit, activate bleed on the target. Target loses bleed count. Interesting. So this does reuse on hit. Does activate bleed. It also gives you inflict some sort of wound, and it also gives him haste. Okay, pretty decent. Seems like a standard, obviously very simple bleed, poise bleed unit so far, but we have to figure out what these do. Third skill is the hunting scoring. It is a 4-coin / pride. On use, gain coin power for every X poise on self and bleed on target. If the target has evolution wound, you deal more damage. If the target has Truce Hong Lu, you convert all coins in this skill to unbreakable, gain final power, and the final coin applies the following on hit. Inflicts a bleed count and inflicts attack power down. Okay, so you really want to have the trust effect or the truce effect, whatever it is called. On use, you gain poise and poise count. The first hit, first coin inflicts bind. It also, if the target does not have truced, inflict truced, or trust, truced. I'm going to say truced. The second coin inflicts bleed count. The third inflicts bleed. The fourth will deal more damage on crit, inflict bleed, inflict evolution wound. On crit, it will inflict evolution wound. And on crit, inflicts pride fragility next turn. But if you also have the truced Honglu, you get the, you get bleed count and attack power down. Okay, very simple skills, but I mean, it seems pretty decently strong. A lot of poise count, a lot of bleed stuff for bleed, like bleed count and whatever these unique buffs are, so we'll read that. I think he only has 1 defensive, yeah. We have throwing the Aura Bond. It is a / pride. Clashable counter. On use at X poise and bleed on the target, gain clash. On use, gain poise. Clash win, poise count. First coin inflicts Trust Honglu. On hit without cracking, inflicts bleed. Okay. We have the first passive, which is the Chunokun, the Taboo Hunter. If a target has the Trust Honglu, gain prisoner transport arrangement. When chaining skills. What? Hold on. When chaining skills, if there is an enemy this unit has inflicted with the Trust Honglu, then this unit can redirect that enemy's skills, targeting to itself regardless of speed. Focus encounters only. Interesting. So if you've nerfed someone with this Truce effect, you could actually choose to target them no matter what. That's pretty interesting. We have the second passive, which is Scoring Hunter Band. If this unit's speed is faster than the target's, deals speed difference % damage. If the target has Truce Honglu, double the above damage, increase effect. Okay, so if that's like 10, it's 20. If it's 20, it's 40. 25, it's 50. Combat start, deal more damage for every ally that has a / pride skill equipped this turn. Okay, so slap his ass in the Blade Lineage team, bro. That's what I'm saying. Blade Lineage upscale, bro. This whole comp is a Blade Lineage upscale. We have support passive, which is Spiteful Pursuit. When one ally with the earliest deployment order attacks an enemy that has bind, deal more damage. That is actually very useful because there are a lot of allies who have bind. And it's earliest deployment order, and I doubt it'll be a Pride res or anything, so it's probably owned passive, so not bad. Now we can see what the heck these buffs are. So have a look at the Truce Honglu. Lose min and max speed. Wait, that's insane, no? Take more pride damage. Okay, wait, this is overpowered. Expires when the inflictor retreats, is killed, or it inflicts on a different target. Ah, so you can only have one Truce target at a time. Replace when Truce by another unit. Okay, so this Truce effect is a one unit thing. Turn and lose stack if the inflictor did not hit this unit this turn. Oh, so Honglu has to keep hitting them for them to get the Truce effect. We have Evolution Wound, and turn start gain Bleed Potency, turn end gain Bind next turn, lose a stack. And then we have this Prisoner Transport Arrangement, which is the special effect that Honglu gets. In a clash against enemies that have the Truce Honglu, gain Clash Power. On hit against enemies that have Truce Honglu, inflict the Bleed and gain Poise. And then if there are no Truce Honglu targets, expires. And I think that's literally it for Honglu. Huh! This seems like a really cool identity. I really like that it's kind of gone back to that 2-star gimmicky. You know what I'm saying? Like we had that, we don't have 2 stars anymore. All right, we have to just accept that. But the biggest thing I wanted was those 2 stars to stay gimmicky. And this is now kind of gimmicky. It's it's literally a blade lineage upscale, by the way. You can only mark a target, you get benefits for marking that target, you gain buffs for marking that target, you nerf them against a very specific subset of attacks. In this case, it's Pride Slash, which is blade lineage. So what you could probably do now is, I guess you just put him on the blade lineage team. But who do you replace? Who dare you replace with the 7 blade lineage members if you have Ishmael on the team? The suspiciously looking 2-star blade lineage Otis. Wink, wink, wink. Anyway. Yeah, her ass is getting kicked to the curb, bro. Hey, sorry. Hey, you're a Kurokomo spy. Alright? Yeah, Otis is getting kicked to the curb, and this Honglu's being put in there. And that's it. Literally, that's it. Here's the overview in case you're interested to see it. Very pretty art, very cool, very simple skills. But I really like that they're gimmicky. I like that he has this kind of gimmick. Thoughts on everything so far? This Ishmael looks very, very, very strong. I'm curious to see how much effects she gets from the Mook Workshop buff. And also, how detrimental is it that, like, allies need to die? I doubt they don't need to die that much. It's more so just a bonus thing. She gets buffs with Kim. She doesn't even get buffs necessarily with Kim, by the way. She just gets a buff with Blade Lineage. So obviously put her on the Blade Lineage team. Maybe there's a minimum value. She's also a haste identity, which I don't think we've had since literally Sync South, like, Dawn with haste conditionals. This Meursault ego is just funny as fuck, bro. Like, what can I do? Like, what do I say? This is sick, by the way. Also, it's not a transformation, I should say. It does not transform him. It just, well, it gives him a state. So, yeah. But look at all the crap he gets in that state. I mean, look, the best way to do this is to experience it on the day. So we'll be trying to. I mean, if Kim Ji-hoon blesses me, I will get it on the day. But it does give him max speed, min-max speed. It does heal him. It does give you poise. It gives you buffs, and it makes Mentor Meursault a bleed unit, and it also buffs allies. So honestly, really excited to see here. These are very unique identities, so I must say they're very unique, and I'm extremely excited to see what is going to be going on. So if you're interested to see more, we'll be talking about it on the live stream, and also we'll talk about patch notes. And if you want to see me pull on the day, in a valid day, I will be streaming. All right, that's it. See ya.